Dad said my wedding would upset his favorite stepdaughter, ordered me to postpone. That was the day I cut him off for good. You need to cancel your wedding, my father said, his eyes glued to his phone screen like I wasn't even there. I'm sorry, what? The wedding is in 2 months. Victoria just got accepted to Johns Hopkins Medical School. We're throwing her a massive celebration party that weekend. The whole family needs to be there to support her. Dad, we sent out invitations 5 months ago. Every vendor is booked. People have made travel arrangements. I don't care, Hazel. Victoria's achievement takes priority here. I stood frozen in my parents' living room in suburban Boston, certain I'd misheard. But the cold expression on my father's face told me everything I needed to know. My wedding, the day I'd been planning for over a year, meant nothing compared to my stepsister's accomplishment. Hi, my name is Hazel, and this is my story. But before I continue, I want you to understand something. I used to worship my father. He was my hero, my protector, the man who taught me how to ice skate and cheered the loudest at every dance recital. That man disappeared the day he married Veronica. Let me back up. Growing up, life was simple and beautiful. My dad owned a successful architectural firm in suburban Boston. My mom was a high school English teacher with the warmest laugh you've ever heard. My younger brother Cameron and I had the kind of childhood you see in Norman Rockwell paintings. Summer picnics at the Cape, family movie nights, annual trips to Martha's Vineyard. We were happy. Then Mom got sick. Ovarian cancer. It took her fast, 20 months from diagnosis to funeral. I was 15. Cameron was 13. Dad was devastated, but he held us together. For 3 years, it was just the 3 of us against the world, learning how to function without the woman who'd been our anchor. Then Dad met Veronica at an industry gala when I was 18. She was everything Mom wasn't. Mom had been soft-spoken and gentle. Veronica was loud and commanding. Mom wore comfortable sweaters and her favorite jeans. Veronica wore designer labels and expensive jewelry. Mom made us her famous apple cinnamon pie. Veronica ordered organic kale smoothies from the trendy health food store. But Dad was lonely, and Veronica was persistent. 7 months after they met, she moved into our house with her 2 daughters, Victoria, who was exactly my age, and Claire, 2 years younger. The change was immediate and brutal. Victoria was perfect. Straight A's at our prep school, president of the Model UN, volunteer coordinator at Massachusetts General Hospital. Every conversation at dinner became about Victoria's latest achievement, Victoria's future plans, Victoria's incredible potential. Meanwhile, Claire was quiet and artistic, always painting in her room. She got lost in Victoria's shadow, just like Cameron and I did. My track medals disappeared from the display shelf, replaced by Victoria's academic awards. Dad's study, where I used to do homework while he worked on building designs, became Victoria's private workspace because she needed absolute silence for her advanced placement courses. I was maintaining a 3.8 GPA while working 25 hours a week at a bookstore cafe, saving money for college. But according to Dad, I should be more like Victoria, more driven, more focused, more everything. Cameron had it worse. He went from being Dad's Red Sox game buddy to completely invisible. He started spending every weekend at friends' houses, anything to avoid watching the Victoria show. But nothing prepared me for what came next. Senior year, everything fell apart. I'd been saving for college since sophomore year. Every paycheck, every birthday check from relatives, every dollar went into my college fund. Dad had promised to match whatever I saved. That was our deal. Work hard, save money, and he'd help me get to a good school without crushing debt. By May, I had $18,000 saved. With Dad's match, that would give me $36,000 toward tuition at Boston University, where I'd been accepted into their communications program. I was so proud. I'd done it myself. Proved I was just as capable as perfect Victoria. Then Victoria got into Georgetown. Veronica threw an absolute fit about the tuition. $70,000 a year. How are we supposed to afford this? She's worked so hard for this opportunity. We can't let finances hold her back now. I should have seen it coming. Dad called me into his study one evening in June. Hazel, we need to talk about your college fund. My stomach dropped. Victoria's tuition at Georgetown is substantial. And Veronica is right, we can't let this opportunity pass. So, I'm going to need to borrow your savings. Just temporarily. We'll pay you back within 3 years. I promise. Borrow? Dad, that's my money. I earned every cent of that. And I'm proud of you. But this is about family helping family. Victoria is going to Georgetown. You can go to UMass. It's more affordable, and it's a perfectly good school. What about your match? You promised plans change, Hazel. You're resourceful. You'll figure it out. He took everything. All $18,000 of my savings. No match, no loan paperwork, just gone. I ended up at UMass on a partial scholarship, working 2 jobs, one at a coffee shop, another doing social media for local businesses. I was exhausted constantly, watching my GPA slip while trying to pay rent and buy textbooks. Meanwhile, Victoria got a brand new BMW for maintaining her grades at Georgetown. Not a used car. A brand new white BMW 3 Series with a bow on top, parked in our driveway like a trophy. Your father just wants to support excellence, Veronica told me when I came home for Thanksgiving and saw it. Maybe if you'd pushed yourself harder, you'd have opportunities like Victoria. I graduated with honors 4 years later while working full-time. No car, no celebration. Dad and Veronica were at Victoria's Junior Year Awards ceremony in Washington, D.C. I told myself things would get better after college. I was wrong. I landed a great job at a digital marketing agency in Boston. Got my own apartment in Somerville. Started building a real life for myself. I met Owen at a friend's barbecue. He was this genuinely kind physical therapist who actually listened when I talked, who showed up to my work events, who made me feel valued for the first time in years. When Owen proposed after 3 years of dating, I was ecstatic. We planned a beautiful fall wedding at a historic inn in the Berkshires. Nothing extravagant, we were paying for it ourselves, but perfect for us. Intimate, meaningful, ours. I called Dad the day after Owen proposed. "That's wonderful, sweetheart," he said, and I heard real warmth in his voice. "When's the date?" "October 19th. The venue had a cancellation, so we got an amazing deal." "Perfect. I'll mark my calendar. Do you need help with anything?" The question shocked me. "Really?" "Of course. You're my daughter. I'll cover the rehearsal dinner." For one shining moment, I had my father back. We sent invitations in late May. Everything was falling into place. I found my dress at a boutique in Beacon Hill, simple, elegant, exactly what I wanted. Owen's mom threw herself into helping with planning, treating me like the daughter she'd never had. My best friend Rebecca, my maid of honor, was planning a bachelorette weekend in Portland, Maine. For the first time in years, I felt genuinely happy. Then August arrived, and everything shattered. "You need to cancel your wedding." Dad's words hung in the air of their expansive Newton house like poison. Veronica sat beside him on their cream leather sofa, nodding along like a bobblehead. I'd stopped by to drop off final numbers for the rehearsal dinner. Instead, I walked into an ambush. "I'm sorry, what?" "I managed." "Victoria just got her acceptance to Johns Hopkins Medical School," Veronica said, her voice dripping with pride. "We're throwing her a celebration the weekend of October 19th. It's already planned. We've booked the Harvard Club. My wedding is October 19th. You've known this for months." "Well, you'll need to change it," Dad said flatly. "Victoria's achievement is a once-in-a-lifetime thing. Medical school at Johns Hopkins. Do you understand how prestigious that is? And my wedding isn't once in a lifetime? You can get married any time, Hazel. Don't be dramatic." The room spun. "Dad, we've sent invitations. People have booked flights and hotels. The venue is paid for. Then you'll lose the deposit. Life happens." He shrugged. Actually shrugged. "We're family. Victoria needs us there to celebrate this incredible achievement. Surely you can understand that." Veronica leaned forward. "Honestly, Hazel, I'm surprised you're being so selfish about this. Victoria has worked incredibly hard. She's going to be a doctor. This party is important. My party is important. It's my wedding." "Another wedding," Veronica said dismissively. "People have weddings every day. How many people get into Johns Hopkins Medical School?" The casual cruelty of it took my breath away. Dad, I tried again, my voice shaking. I've had this date for months. You offered to pay for the rehearsal dinner. You said you'd be there. And I will be, if you reschedule. But if you insist on this date, you're asking me to choose between you and Victoria's celebration. He looked me dead in the eye. I'm choosing Victoria. The words landed like a slap. She's achieved something remarkable, Dad continued. She's making something of herself. This is what I mean about being driven, Hazel. Victoria sets goals and crushes them. You could learn something from her work ethic. I was working 2 jobs through college because you stole my money. I wanted to scream. But Veronica was already talking again. We've already sent out save the dates for Victoria's party. The Massachusetts Attorney General's office confirmed attendance. The Dean of Johns Hopkins Medical School is flying in. This is a major event. You sent save the dates after you knew about my wedding? We assumed you'd be reasonable, Veronica said coldly. I looked at my father. The man who taught me to ice skate, who'd held me when Mom died, who'd promised to always be there for me. The man who'd just told me to cancel my wedding for a party. No, I said quietly. What? No. I'm not canceling my wedding. October 19th is my day. It's been my day for months. If you choose not to come, that's your choice. Dad's face hardened. Don't be stupid, Hazel. You're throwing away your family over stubbornness. I'm not throwing anything away. You are. I walked out before they could see me cry. Owen was waiting in the car. The moment I got in, I broke down. They want me to cancel the wedding, I sobbed. For Victoria. For a party for Victoria. Owen's jaw clenched. They can't be serious. They're completely serious. Dad said he's choosing Victoria over me. Then we proceed exactly as planned, Owen said firmly, taking my hand. This is our day, Hazel. Not theirs, not Victoria's. Ours. The calls started immediately. Dad phoned the next morning. I've thought about it, and here's my compromise. Attend Victoria's party, and I'll come to your wedding. They're at the same time, Dad. Leave your reception at 8. Victoria's party starts at 8:30. You can make it. You want me to leave my own wedding reception to go to a party? It's called being flexible, Hazel. Victoria's party is at the Harvard Club. It's 35 minutes from your venue. You could easily know. Absolutely not. Then I guess I won't be walking you down the aisle. He hung up. Veronica started next, calling from different numbers when I stopped answering. Her messages ranged from guilt-tripping to outright hostile. You're tearing this family apart over your ego. Victoria has done nothing but excel her entire life, and you can't let her have one special day. Your mother would be ashamed of how selfish you've become. That last one made me throw my phone across the room. But the worst was when they went after my vendors. My florist called, confused. Hazel, I got a call from a Veronica Henderson saying the wedding is cancelled. She said there was a death in the family. I'm so sorry for your loss. There's no death. The wedding is still on. My stepmother is lying. Oh my God. Should I be worried about payment? Everything will be paid as scheduled. Please don't take any more calls from her. My photographer got a similar call. So did my caterer. Veronica was systematically trying to dismantle my wedding from the outside. This is harassment, Rebecca said when I told her. Like, actual criminal harassment. What are you supposed to do? Call the police on your stepmother? Maybe. This is unhinged. The real shock came from unexpected places. My Aunt Dorothy, Mom's older sister, who'd been distant since Dad remarried, called out of the blue. I heard what they're asking you to do, she said. Your mother would be horrified. Count me in for the wedding, sweetheart. And don't worry about the rehearsal dinner. I'll cover it. Your mom would want that. I burst into tears. Aunt Dorothy, you don't have to. Yes, I do. Someone needs to show you what family actually looks like. Cameron, who'd moved to Seattle after college to escape the family drama, called next. I'm flying in, he said without preamble. Wouldn't miss it. Team Hazel all the way. And for the record, I've been waiting for you to finally stand up to them. Even Claire reached out via text. This is messed up, even for them. I'll be at your wedding. Victoria doesn't need another party. She needs a reality check. The battle lines were drawn. Dad, Veronica, and Victoria on one side. Everyone else on the other. But they still had ammunition. 2 weeks before the wedding, Victoria herself called. "Hazel, I really hope you'll reconsider," she said in that fake sweet voice she used when she wanted something. "It would mean so much to have the whole family there to celebrate with me. This is such a huge achievement. Victoria, I've had this date for months. But people have already RSVP'd to my party. The Attorney General's office confirmed. This is a really big deal. My wedding is a big deal to me." "Right. But this is medical school. Johns Hopkins Medical School. Surely you can see how this is more important." The casual dismissal of my entire wedding as less important than her party was stunning. More important to who? To everyone. I mean, it's Hopkins. It's medicine. It's obviously more significant than a wedding. I'm hanging up now. Wait, don't you care about being part of this family? I care about people who actually treat me like family. You're not on that list anymore. I blocked her number. The whisper campaign started immediately. Extended family members I hadn't heard from in years suddenly called, having heard Veronica's version of events. According to them, I was jealous of Victoria's success and had deliberately scheduled my wedding to overshadow her achievement. Never mind that invitations went out in May and her acceptance came in August. Some relatives bought it. Others didn't. "Your cousin Brenda called me," Aunt Dorothy reported. "Said I should talk sense into you." I told her exactly where she could shove her opinion. The family was fracturing, and honestly, I was okay with that. I'd rather have 10 people who genuinely loved me than 100 who thought I should perpetually take second place. Here's where the story takes a turn. Remember how I mentioned I work in marketing? Well, my specialty is social media management and digital strategy. I understand analytics, reach, engagement, and privacy settings. Veronica, bless her heart, did not understand privacy settings. She'd been posting constantly about Victoria's Hopkins acceptance, humble brags disguised as proud mom moments. So grateful for this incredible opportunity, with photos of Victoria in Hopkins gear. Dreams really do come true with hard work, with screenshots of the acceptance letter. But she'd also been posting other things. Photos from their recent trip to the Bahamas, much-needed family vacation. The resort looked expensive. Very expensive. Pictures of Victoria's new MacBook Pro. Every medical student needs the right tools. $3,500 well spent. A spa day at the Four Seasons. Victoria needed to de-stress before her big journey. Best mother-daughter day ever. All of this posted publicly. All of it time-stamped. All of it very much contradicting the story they'd told about needing my college fund money. I started screenshotting everything. Not for revenge, just for receipts. Then Rebecca, who works as a paralegal, noticed something interesting. "Hazel, did you know your stepmother started a GoFundMe?" "A what?" Rebecca showed me her phone. There it was, "Help Victoria achieve her Hopkins dreams." The description made my blood boil. "Our brilliant daughter Victoria has been accepted to Johns Hopkins Medical School, a dream come true. Unfortunately, medical school costs are overwhelming for our middle-class family. We're struggling to make ends meet while ensuring Victoria gets the education she deserves. Every dollar helps. Any contribution, no matter how small, brings us closer to making her dreams a reality. We're so grateful for your support during this challenging time." Middle class. Dad's architectural firm was worth millions. Challenging time. They'd just gotten back from the Bahamas. "Look at the donations," Rebecca said. They'd raised $15,000 in 4 weeks. Neighbors, Dad's business associates, people from their church, all contributing to help struggling Victoria afford medical school, while spending my college fund money on vacations and luxury goods. "This is fraud," Rebecca said flatly. "Like, textbook fraud. They're misrepresenting their financial situation to solicit donations. I didn't want to get involved. I was trying to focus on my wedding, on my future with Owen, on moving forward. But Rebecca had other ideas. I'm not letting them get away with this," she said. "They stole from you. Now they're stealing from everyone else. Rebecca, you don't have to. But I am." And she did. Anonymously, From a burner email address, Rebecca sent a comprehensive package to every GoFundMe donor. The Bahamas vacation photos. The $3,500 laptop receipt. The spa day pictures. The country club membership renewal that Veronica had proudly posted about. Screenshots of their expensive home, their luxury cars, their lifestyle that screamed wealthy, not struggling. The subject line was simple: where your donation really went. The backlash was immediate and brutal. Donors started demanding refunds. Comments flooded the GoFundMe page. Someone reported it to the platform for fraud. Within 72 hours, the campaign was shut down and under investigation. But I didn't know any of this was happening. I was in the final week before my wedding, dealing with last-minute details, trying to process the fact that my father wasn't going to be there, focused on starting my marriage on a foundation of joy rather than bitterness. Meanwhile, karma was working overtime. Someone, we never found out who, sent the GoFundMe screenshots to Johns Hopkins Financial Aid Office. Medical schools take financial fraud very seriously, especially when it involves incoming students and misrepresented family finances. Victoria's acceptance was put under review. Dad hired lawyers. Veronica deleted her social media accounts. Victoria posted a tearful video claiming they'd been misunderstood and that family members were jealously sabotaging her success. The video got ratioed into oblivion. My phone started blowing up with texts from extended family members. Did you see what's happening? Your dad and Veronica are in serious trouble. Victoria might lose her Hopkins spot. I turned my phone off and focused on what mattered, marrying the love of my life. October 19th dawned absolutely perfect. Crisp autumn air, brilliant blue sky, the Berkshires painted in shades of gold and crimson. The historic inn looked like something from a fairy tale. Stone walls covered in ivy, gardens bursting with chrysanthemums, the old carriage house decorated with string lights and white dahlias. I got ready surrounded by people who actually loved me. Rebecca crying while helping me into my dress. Aunt Dorothy fixing my veil and telling me I looked exactly like Mom on her wedding day. Claire, who'd driven up from Providence despite the family drama, taking photos and telling me I was the most beautiful bride she'd ever seen. Cameron knocked on the door at 3:15. Ready, sis? Aunt Dorothy was supposed to walk me down the aisle. We'd planned that after Dad's ultimatum. But Cameron had other ideas. Mom would want us both to do it, he said. One on each side. The two people who actually watched you grow up. I ugly cried for 10 minutes, ruining my makeup. Rebecca had to fix everything. The ceremony was perfect. Aunt Dorothy and Cameron walked me down the aisle while Pachelbel's canon played on strings. Owen, standing at the altar in his charcoal suit, had tears streaming down his face. His parents, his two sisters, his huge extended family, all there, all beaming, all celebrating us. My real family was there. The people who'd shown up, who'd chosen me, who'd stood by me. The people who mattered. Cameron gave a speech during the reception that had everyone crying. My sister Hazel has always been my hero, he said. After Mom died, she held our family together. She made sure I did my homework, came to my soccer games, taught me how to do laundry when Dad was too grief-stricken to function. She's the strongest person I know, and she deserves every happiness. Owen, you're the luckiest guy alive. Welcome to the family, the real family. Claire sat at a table sketching the ceremony, filling her notebook with beautiful watercolor drawings because she knew I'd want to remember every detail. She gave me the notebook later as a gift. I've kept every page. Owen's mom pulled me aside during dinner. I'm so sorry your father is missing this, she said, hugging me tight. But honey, his loss. You're the kind of daughter any parent would be blessed to have. Welcome to our family, Hazel. We're never letting you go. The reception was everything I dreamed of. Dancing, laughter, joy, real joy, not the performative kind that permeated every event at Dad and Veronica's house. Around 8, Rebecca pulled me aside, grinning. Don't check your phone, she said. But I thought you should know, Victoria's party isn't going quite as planned. The gossip came in waves throughout the night. Half their guest list hadn't shown up. Those who did come were apparently there for the drama, not the celebration. A reporter from the Boston Globe had shown up asking for statements about the GoFundMe fraud allegations. The Attorney General's office had quietly pulled their RSVP. Someone from the IRS had apparently contacted Dad's office about tax implications of the fraudulent fundraising. Veronica had a complete meltdown in the Harvard Club bathroom. Victoria spent most of her own party crying in the coat room. But I didn't care about any of that. Not really. I was too busy dancing with my husband, celebrating with people who genuinely loved me, starting the best chapter of my life. We left the reception around midnight, heading to a hotel before our flight to Italy the next morning. As we drove away, I saw my phone had 83 missed calls and over 200 texts. I turned it off without reading any of them. No regrets? Owen asked, taking my hand. Not a single one, I said honestly. And I meant it. We spent 2 weeks in Tuscany drinking wine, eating incredible food, and ignoring the explosion happening back home. Claire kept me updated via email, though I'd asked her not to. You should see the fallout, she wrote. Dad hired 4 different lawyers. Veronica's banned from Facebook and Instagram for harassment. Apparently she tried to blame you for orchestrating everything. Victoria's Hopkins acceptance is under formal review. The IRS is investigating. It's poetic justice. When Owen and I got back to Boston, the chaos was still unfolding. Dad called within an hour of US landing. Hazel, I need you to make a statement that you weren't involved in this GoFundMe situation. Hello to you too, Dad. This isn't a joke. We could face criminal charges. I wasn't involved. I was getting married. Remember? The wedding you skipped? Don't start with that again. Someone orchestrated this vindictive campaign against us. Your friend Rebecca is a paralegal. She has access to Dad. I was on my honeymoon. Whatever happened is your own doing. If Rebecca recognized fraud when she saw it, that's not my fault or my problem. We're family, Hazel. You need to help us. The word family coming from his mouth made me laugh. Actually laugh. No? Dad. You made it crystal clear I'm not family when you chose Victoria's party over my wedding. When you stole my college fund. When you demanded I cancel the most important day of my life. Family shows up. You didn't. Your mother would be disappointed in you. Mom would be horrified by what you've become. Don't ever call me again. I hung up and blocked his number. The investigation took 5 months. In the end, Veronica got 8 months of probation and had to pay back every cent of the GoFundMe money. Dad's architectural firm lost 3 major contracts. Clients didn't want to be associated with fraud allegations. His reputation in Boston's business community was destroyed. Victoria lost her Hopkins spot entirely. The school released a diplomatic statement about misrepresented financial circumstances and ethical concerns. She ended up attending UMass Medical School, the same state school Dad had told me was good enough for me. I heard through the grapevine that she blamed me for everything. Apparently she told anyone who'd listen that I was jealous of her success and had sabotaged her future out of spite. The irony was delicious. But the best revenge? Living well. Owen and I bought a house in Cambridge. I got promoted to senior marketing director with a significant raise. We started hosting Sunday brunches with Aunt Dorothy, game nights with Cameron, and art shows for Claire, who'd finally found her voice outside Victoria's shadow. Dad tried reaching out periodically. First demanding, then pleading, then angry, then pathetic. We need to talk about what you've done to this family. I'm still your father. You owe me respect. I miss you, sweetheart. Can we please talk? You've destroyed everything. I hope you're happy. I never responded. Not once. Veronica sent one letter, 4 pages of single-space text about how I destroyed their lives, ruined Victoria's future, and torn apart the family. She accused me of being vindictive, jealous, selfish, and cruel. I framed it and hung it in my home office. Rebecca said that was petty. I said it was art. Victoria reached out exactly once, a year after my wedding. A LinkedIn message asking if my company was hiring. The audacity was almost impressive. I forwarded her profile to HR with no recommendation. She didn't get the job. The last I heard, Dad and Veronica were divorcing. The financial pressure, the legal troubles, the scandal, it broke them. Veronica moved back to Connecticut. Dad sold the Newton house and downsized to a condo in Brookline. Victoria moved back in with him, bitter and angry, blaming everyone but herself for how her life turned out. Claire went fully no contact with all of them, following my example. She's thriving now. Got into RISD for illustration. Has a growing freelance business. Actually smiles when you see her. People sometimes ask if I regret not reconciling. If I feel guilty about how everything turned out. The answer is always no. They made their choices. Every single time they had an opportunity to choose me, to value me, to treat me like I mattered, they chose Victoria instead. When Dad told me to cancel my wedding, he showed me exactly where I ranked in his life. Dead last. Always last. I finally decided I deserved better than last place in my own father's heart. The wedding they missed was the beginning of my real life. The life I built with people who actually love me, who show up, who choose me. That's my family now, the one I built, not the one I was born into. Blood doesn't make family. Love does. Loyalty does. Showing up does. And when someone shows you repeatedly that you don't matter to them, believe them. Then let them live with the consequences of their choices. My father chose Victoria over me for the last time when he skipped my wedding. Everything that happened after that was just the universe settling the score. And honestly, the universe did a beautiful job. Would you have postponed your wedding if your parent demanded it for a stepsister's celebration?